Excuse me. We are live. Oh boy. Ooh. Call of Duty 2020 reveal. This is about to be hype as hell. Oh my god. This is like literally something we've all been waiting for. Now, what we all know so far is the fact that um the zombies community has figured out the Easter eggs. If you have not watched any YouTube videos or anything like that, certain YouTubers got these boxes, and they contain information about this year's Call of Duty coming up. A bunch of the zombies YouTubers, they came together and they figured out this whole Easter egg, and it led us to this website, pawntakespawn.com/TV, and it totally like is happening today. They just gave us a set time right here. It would say 12 o'clock. And they had like a little date and time and stuff like that, because they had this little lip right here, and they have these two ones. This is where we got the date for the 14th. As you can see, it's crossed off because it's already happened. As you can see, whenever this website first popped up, this tape was not here. So all I have to do is pop this tape in, and it'll start the event. Um, so there's day two. Everything's marked out, so we don't exactly know what's happening. But this is 1961 to 1962. So this is the events happening from 1961 to 1962. The start of the Cold War, the start of us in Russia into this damn little fritz they went into, talking about, hey, we're better than you. No, we're better than you, and stuff like that. When it didn't actually do anything, but it's talking about that. And then this little thing right here. Wars are won just not on the battlefield, but behind closed doors. Tactics, maneuvers, strategies, all pieces of the complex puzzle that mean the difference between life and death. Conquering or be conquered. Code signals, ciphers, secret communications used by enemies and allies for thousands of years. The plot unfolding now is decades in the making. It will not unravel overnight. While some battles cannot be won swiftly, others will take days to unfold. You have found the first piece of many. Relish the journey. It all takes a part of time. I'm sorry, I just woke up. The spoils of victory come not to those in haste, but those who know. Every battle is won before it is ever fought. Know your history. So what I would think this is trying to say here is it's trying to tell us that there's going to be a lot of cool shit happening. So we have to know our history. That line right there makes me wonder what they have in store for us, because I've already watched this tape, but I want to react to it. I'm gonna grab a notebook because there are some pretty interesting shit in this thing. So I'm going to grab my notebook here. On a clean page, there we go. Grab my notebook and my trusty handy dandy pen, and there are some codes that will show up right here, and there are some numbers that will show up in the screen itself. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, pop this in.
Detonate a 50 megaton explosion, something about which we can all speculate.
At Oxford, integration at the University of Mississippi becomes a one-man crusade. When Air Force veteran James Meredith tries to register, the police lines are drawn, U.S. Marshals blocked. When university officials are cited for contempt of federal court.
Now hold on. This is at a different part to what I was watching though. Hold on, let me see if me actually watching it on here kind of fucked it up. Let me turn that down and see. Is this like the same thing as what I'm watching?
And the campus, the shambles of a battlefield. 75 students and other rioters are arrested.
I thought this was all the same. So is it's gonna be like different shits. Like it's every website everything you go or visit on, it's gonna show a different story. That's interesting.
And James Meredith becomes a duly registered student at the University of Mississippi.
Sir, there's been a great deal of turmoil and conflict.
Now,
Two
this is
people
talking
have been
about Little
killed.
Rock, Arkansas.
Do you have any feelings of
If you
guilt?
haven't
Have you given
if
that
you
any
don't know your
second
history,
thought?
this is Little Rock, Arkansas. So we'll put down that Little Rock, Arkansas apparently might have something to do with this.
I'm very sorry that anyone had to get hurt or killed. But of course, I think that's an unfair question to me. I don't believe any of you believe that I had anything to do with that.
President Kasavubu is giving a Leopold trip on his return from a conference of Congolese leaders in Madagascar, at which it was agreed to convert the republic into a loose confederation. The streets are jammed for a parade in celebration of the decision. But red opposition to the plan is heated, and the pro-Soviet Antoine Gizenga, Lumumba's political heir, still controls key areas and sizable armed forces. The Congo's problems are far from over.
Vienna was a neutral arena for a sparring match between two worlds. The men who hold the power to write tomorrow's history met, smiled, and resolved no problems. The dictator and the president, the East and the West.
St. James Church in the Hudson River hamlet of Hyde Park is the scene of last rites for the First Lady of the World, Eleanor Roosevelt. President Kennedy heads the list of distinguished world leaders who pay last tribute to the extraordinary and beloved woman who is remembered as a humanitarian and one who loved her fellow man.
There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
In the Cold War, the ground forces of NATO have been alert against the military threat of the communist bloc. Now, Honest John missiles add to NATO's striking power.
President Kennedy begins a tour of 4 space installations at Huntsville, Alabama, where he is greeted by Dr. Werner von Braun, space pioneer and director of this research and development center. The missiles on display are dwarfed by the mighty Saturn rocket. This booster is the first stage of the rocket that will put the 3-man Apollo capsule into a 2-week orbit of the Earth in 1964. Preliminary to a lunar shoot. Gemini, which was developed here, will allow 2 men to orbit the Earth for 2 weeks and will be used for experiments in outer space rendezvous and docking missions. This winds up the President's first-hand look at our space program and our progress in the race for space.
The first deficit comes from a recession. If we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we could take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget.
Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the peoples of Free China on the island of Taiwan, heads the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the overthrow of the Manchu dynasty. 11 million Chinese, strong with their dream of someday wresting their homeland from the communists, are marking the day that saw the end of 4,000 years of monarchy in China.
Khrushchev declared, through the formation of the world system of socialism, the situation in the world has altered radically. At present, it is not known who...
Okay, talk about something. This I did see when I watched it on my phone. So maybe the clips are all jumbled, because that's what I'm thinking. Like, because they're jumping from like event to event, like, and they're going back to it. So like they'll jump from like Little Rock, Arkansas to like John F. Kennedy to back to this, back to Little Rock, Arkansas. So maybe they might want you to, I don't know, probably they want you to like decipher all this shit and put it all together like in a continuous flowing video, if that makes sense. Like every single clip that they find, they want somebody that like that's really good at editing to like edit all those clips together and then make it a continuous movie throughout, rather than it all being a jumbled.
Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
Communism's adventure in Cuba is a sophisticated one. Political, psychological, subversive, with paramilitary features. Can a democratic society, wherein the right to know and the value of knowing are basic, can a democratic society wage successful political, psychological, subversive warfare against communism?
Leather is falling into step in the fall fashion parade. Finished in an explosion of rainbow colors, leather has been styled into smocks and sheath-top skirts like this eye-stopping pair. Just the thing for a day's outing at Sterling Forest Gardens in New York.
In Trafalgar Square, 2,000 Londoners demonstrate against the United States blockade.
Fidel Castro whips up a furor in Cuba, charging the United States with arming and training mercenary forces for an imminent invasion. He calls out some 200,000 militiamen for training and guard duty at key points throughout Havana. Khrushchev happily receives a gift of the Cuban flag as he lines up with a solid endorsement for the home-brewed anti-Americanism of Fidel Castro, the Soviet sole Western Hemisphere ally.
As he arrives back in Washington, the president hears more bad news. China has just invaded India. Is this part of a two-pronged communist assault? Now the president must weigh all the factors one final time, then make his decision, knowing that whatever he does, he risks nuclear war.
Okay. So he's talking about...
Meanwhile, the United States continues to reinforce its Cuban base at Guantanamo Bay, the naval depot that Castro wants the U.S. to give up. These Marines have been assigned the job of protecting the base against any Cuban threats that might arise during the present crisis.
Your man's Alec Mason.
Mr. President, I am submitting today a resolution to the Security Council designed to find a way out of this calamitous situation. This resolution calls as an interim measure under Article 40 of the Charter for the immediate dismantling and withdrawal from Cuba of all missile and other offensive weapons.
Well, I don't know if I graduated already, but if I go back to
The inauguration of Abraham Lincoln as the 16th President of the United States is reenacted in the nation's capital 100 years after the event. There's a crowd larger than the original President this day, double the 10,000 of 1861. And the bright balmy day is in marked contrast to the gloomy overcast of a century ago. Scenes familiar from history books and movies come to life at the Capitol as Mr. Lincoln arrives. He is portrayed...
The following is the letter which has just been dispatched from the President to Chairman Khrushchev. I think that you and I, with our heavy responsibilities for the maintenance of peace, we're aware that developments were approaching a point where events could have become unmanageable.
Like an ancestor.
So I welcome this message and consider it an important contribution to peace.
It urgently recommends that the United States and the Soviet Union confer promptly on measures to remove the existing threat to the security of the Western Hemisphere and the peace of the world, and to report thereon to the Security Council.
Earlier today, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara announced that yesterday's photographic surveillance of Cuba indicated that the bases were being dismantled.
But with increased United States aid and instruction, Vietnam soldiers learn to fight back against the communist Viet Cong.
Okay, this is talking about Vietnam.
Helicopters become a crucial weapon against guerrillas who strike, then disappear will-o'-the-wisp in marshes. Southeast Asia and Berlin are not the only hazard areas in the orchestrated struggle of the Cold War. There is Cuba, from which Bay of Pigs invaders hobble back when their ransom is paid.
The president visits the big missile center at Vandenberg Air Force Base. He becomes the nation's first president to see an intercontinental ballistic missile fired when an Atlas D blasts off its pad to roar down the Pacific Missile Range in a perfect launch.
That's new. I have not seen that. Okay, now we're getting the blue screen.
The French army has seized Algeria in its revolt against de Gaulle. More on that later. In Laos, the government's army suffered its worst defeat of the Civil War, evacuating its last stronghold in north-central Laos. Now the communists may want to begin the ceasefire talks.
It's now uploaded to channel.
I believe that
this is a totally different like little scene.
The United States can
I think it just got over to the 91, now it's doing 92. Or not 92, 96.
Chicago, the Windy City, is both windy and snowy in the wake of a storm which leaves more than half a foot. Temperatures drop to zero during the storm.
Whenever I came in, I decided to make this
San Francisco gets the heaviest snow in 30 years. Children, many of whom have never seen snow before, are more spellbound than snowbound. But they soon learn what to do with the
I already
stuff.
got that. There's no fire. When's the next number supposed to pop up?
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan arrives in Key West, Florida for a conference with the President on the explosive crisis in Laos. They jointly declare determination to prevent the Southeast Asian kingdom from being taken over by communist-supported rebels. Also discussed is Britain's ceasefire proposal to Moscow.
Gromyko, is the Soviet Union willing to agree to a ceasefire in Laos?
We touched in conversation this subject. I have nothing to say publicly at this moment.
The look for 61 will recall the Jazz Age, and where Paris leads, the rest of the fashion world is likely to follow.
Here was a new symbol of communist ruthlessness. Overnight, East Berlin became a concentration camp, sealing in the inhabitants of that sector. Barbed wire and cement were the answers to the refugee problem.
Okay, I didn't get to see that entire clip
to
right
sign
there.
a separate peace treaty with East Germany, which he claims, wrongly, will end all Western rights in Berlin.
Served with an order by East German authorities that all U.S. personnel must show identification before entering that section of Berlin, American troops answer with the only language the Reds seem to understand, a show of arms.
I don't know what that movie. They had a movie for that, like a whole ass.
Castro marks the second anniversary of his revolution with the biggest military parade ever staged in Cuba, featuring tanks and other heavy weapons from Russia and Red Czechoslovakia. Shortly afterwards, Castro demanded the United States Embassy drastically reduce its staff to 11 persons. It was the last straw in his long campaign of provocation and harassment.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal
before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
The assault has begun on the dictatorship of Fidel Castro. Cuban Army pilots opened the first phase of organized revolt with bombing raids on 3 military bases.
In Havana, Acting Foreign Minister Olivares shows diplomats rockets fired from the Cuban raiders, which he claims have U.S. marking.
These charges are totally false, and I deny them categorically.
Oh, this is when they try to pin their weapon on
The United States has committed no aggression against Cuba, and no offensive has been launched from Florida or from any other part of the United States.
Go ahead and blame that shit on us because we were, on good terms with everybody.
Es un honor para mí el estar hoy entre un grupo de los hombres más valientes del mundo.
Castro gloated over his victory and told the world that Cuba was now a socialist nation and would hold no more elections.
I think that was Castro's wife too.
The United States officially proclaimed Cuba to be a communist satellite state.
Man had his first great success in space when the Russians pushed a man across the threshold.
Okay, yeah,
he was Yuri Gagarin, the astronaut the Russians lionized as the first to orbit the Earth. It was the propaganda coup of the year.
I mean, not the first man on the moon. What am I saying? They sent the first man to space, but we sent the first man to the moon, so that's how we like kind of won
as
over them on
Lieutenant
that.
Commander Shepard walks to the elevator that will carry him 65 feet aloft to the capsule.
Like, they just, like,
it's 6:20 a.m., a moment of history. 2, 1, 0.
Okay, this was the first test launch of the actual, like, concept of going to the moon. This is a rocket that they did. This is like Apollo something. I don't know exactly what it's called. But the only thing this purpose of this rocket was to use to break orbit and then send the astronauts back down to Earth so they can
115 miles up, he went 300 miles downrange, right on target, and was picked up by waiting helicopters.
Yep, there it is. 37. Okay, that's another number. 37. All right. 4837 is what I got.
Alan B. Shepard, U.S. Space Pioneer. As the captain prepared to leave the capsule, explosive bolts on the escape hatch let go, and the Mercury is lost. However, the moon gets closer.
Albany, Georgia. A Negro fight against segregation is led by the Reverend Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King,
and if necessary,
he didn't deserve to die.
we must be willing to fill up the jails all over the state of Florida.
I can't tell. It's a black and white. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that's a nuclear explosion. There's no way that's not a nuclear explosion. What makes sense is how the fuck they can report that shit when nuclear explosions will literally devastate thousands of miles.
Just why the Soviet Union would wish to detonate a 50 megaton explosion.
Okay, this is them talking about that.
Something about which we can all speculate.
At Oxford, integration at the University of Mississippi becomes a one-man crusade. When Air Force veteran James Meredith tries to register, the police lines are drawn, U.S. Marshals blocked. When university officials are cited for contempt of federal court, Governor Ross Barnett personally Negro applicant. Meredith goes away, and the federal government ponders its next move.
All right, so far we have 48, 37, 25. Okay. I don't have any more.
The forces increased tenfold and more. It is not enough to avert a night of rioting, leaving 2 dead, and the campus the shambles of a battlefield. 75 students and other rioters are arrested. Among those seized, former Major General Edwin Walker, who is charged with insurrection. And James Meredith becomes a duly registered student at the University of Mississippi.
It's crazy that they had to literally
a great deal of turmoil and conflict. 2 people have been killed. Do you have any feelings of guilt? Have you given it any second thoughts?
I'm very sorry that anyone had to get hurt or killed. But of course, I think that's an unfair question to me. I don't believe any of you believe that I had anything to do with that.
President Kasavubu is taking Leopoldville on his return from a conference of Congolese leaders in Madagascar, at which it was agreed to convert the republic into a loose confederation. The streets are jammed for a parade in celebration of the decision. But red opposition to the plan is heated, and the pro-Soviet Antoine Gizenga, Lumumba's political heir, still controls key areas and sizable armed forces. The Congo's problems are far from over.
Vienna was a neutral arena for a sparring match between 2 worlds. The men who hold the power to write tomorrow's history met, smiled, and resolved no problems. The dictator and the president, the East and the West.
St. James Church in the Hudson River hamlet of Hyde Park is the scene of last rites for the First Lady of the World, Eleanor Roosevelt. President Kennedy heads the list of distinguished world leaders who pay last tribute to the extraordinary and beloved woman who is remembered as a humanitarian and one who loved her fellow man.
There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict.
Something I don't like about this video, though, is it has like 0 rhyme or rhythm.
Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
In the Cold War, the ground forces of NATO have been alert against the military threat of the communist bloc. Now, Honest John missiles add to NATO's striking power.
President Kennedy begins a tour of 4 space installations at Huntsville, Alabama, where he is greeted by Dr. Wernher von Braun, space pioneer and director of this research and development center. The missiles on display are dwarfed by the mighty Saturn rocket. This booster is the first stage of the rocket that will put the 3-man Apollo capsule into a 2-week orbit of the Earth in 1964. Preliminary to a lunar shoot. Gemini, which was developed here, will allow 2 men to orbit the Earth for 2 weeks and will be used for experiments in outer space rendezvous and docking missions. This winds up the President's first-hand look at our space program and our progress in the race for space.
The first deficit comes from a recession. If we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we can take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget.
Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the peoples of Free China on the island of Taiwan, heads the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the overthrow of the Manchu dynasty. 11 million Chinese, strong with their dream of someday wresting their homeland from the communists, are marking the day that saw the end of 4,000 years of monarchy in China.
Khrushchev declared, through the formation of the world system of socialism, the situation in the world has altered radically. At present, it is not known who encircles whom. On December 2nd, 1961, Castro reveals, "I am a Marxist-Leninist and will be one until the day I die." Socialism is a world reality today. There is no halfway between socialism and imperialism.
This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup on the island of Cuba. To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated. All ships of any kind bound for Cuba, from whatever nation or port, where they're found to contain cargoes of offensive weapons to be turned back. Shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
Communism's adventure in Cuba is a sophisticated one. Political, psychological, subversive, with paramilitary features.
Okay, I don't know.
Can a democratic society, wherein the right to know and the value of knowing are basic, can a democratic society wage successful political, psychological, subversive warfare against communism?
Leather is falling into step in the fall fashion parade. Finished in an explosion of rainbow colors, leather has been styled into smocks and sheath-top skirts like this eye-stopping pair. Just the thing for a day's outing at Sterling Forest Gardens in New York.
In Trafalgar Square, 2,000 Londoners demonstrate against the United States blockade.
Fidel Castro whips up a furor in Cuba, charging the United States with arming and training mercenary forces for an imminent invasion. He calls out some 200,000 militiamen for training and guard duty at key points throughout Havana. Khrushchev happily receives a gift of the Cuban flag as he lines up with a solid endorsement for the home-brewed anti-Americanism of Fidel Castro, the Soviet sole Western Hemisphere ally.
As he arrives back in Washington, the president hears more bad news.
Okay, yeah.
China has just invaded India.
China has invaded India. Okay, so I think that's it. Well, obviously that was probably it. Whenever it went to the blue screen, I thought there was gonna be more because it was showing some different factual information and shit. So like I watched through it again to see if there's anything different, and there was a little bit difference. Some of the clips they get longer, some of the clips they will get shorter. So it is a little bit different, but rewatching it over and over again is not something I want to do. But if you guys have missed what these two tabs up here are, this is going to be day 2. Tomorrow, come back at the same damn time. We'll be streaming again. There's going to be another tape here. It's going to be, what is this? Actually, we don't know what it's going to be. It could be, I actually have no clue what time period they would jump to from this to here. So definitely come back to here. But if you guys missed this, I've already read this in the very beginning of the stream, but I'll read it again. Wars are won not just on the battlefield, but behind closed doors. Tactics, maneuvers, and strategic. Why do I keep strategic? Strategies. All pieces of complex puzzles that mean the difference between life and death. Conquering or be conquered. Codes, signals, ciphers, secret communications used by enemies and allies for thousands of years. The plot unfolding is now decades in the making. It will be unraveled overnight. Excuse me. You have found the first piece of many. Relish the journey. It's all a part of the game. The spoils of victory will not come in those who in haste, but those who know. Every battle is won before it's ever fought. Know your history. So what I believe it's saying on this is know your history. As we just watched on this video, it's if you know your history, you're gonna get the next puzzle. So for day 2, whatever day 2 is going to be, is going to have some kind of correlation with this. I hope. I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm just a simple guy that likes playing Call of Duty, and this is a little Easter egg. This is the first time they've ever done something like this, so this is something really, really new, interesting. So it's given the hype more to Call of Duty, in my opinion. They're doing more Call of Duty, more hype, more everything. So whatever they have coming next on day 2, I'm really ready for it. Oh, by the way, another thing is how we ended up getting 12 o'clock. On here, it doesn't say it anymore. Right here, it would say 12 o'clock. That's when the first video popped up. And this little tag right here, they just put that there. The Tangled Web, this one's for the Tangled Web. And this one is for the AMC2. So, we have 6 whole days of this. So the rest of the week from, what is today? Today's Friday. Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is going all the way until Wednesday. So we have these type of little videos and stuff like that going all the way until Wednesday. So if you guys want to check this out for yourselves, or if you want to watch it on stream or watch any other YouTubers, a bunch of YouTubers are streaming this. NoJ456 streamed it today. Pretty sure a lot of people are going to react into it. He went more into depth. If you want to go there, watch that video, check that out. It's a whole stream. I mean, it's like a 2 hour long, but at the same time, you're going to get a lot more information out of him than me. But, because they go down into the details and the depths. But if you want to, wait for somebody to react to it, because they break it down even further and go into like a shorter summarized version of it. So wait for somebody to make a video out of that. I'll definitely be streaming again tomorrow on the second tape whenever that comes in. How I'll know it'll be the new, it'll say volume 2 and whatever is right here. But literally there's nothing you can do on this website besides put the tape in. That's it, and it'll play. That's literally it. Okay, see, look, it's redoing now.
The French army has seen.
There you go. It's replaying. But yeah, that's about it. There's literally nothing else. It just says that rated pending on at the bottom, and that's it. Use terms of use, cookie policy, privacy policy. That's literally it. That's all this website entitles. But that's pretty much it. You know, you hella hyped. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy. This is the first time they've ever done anything like this. So, hype factor, we'll be definitely streaming again tomorrow, and we'll be streaming for day 2, and whatever day 2 might be. So I don't understand why they have this blocked off. They should just give us all the dates to confirm that, but I don't know, maybe they just want to go, they want to take it slow at a time, maybe, I'm not sure, but hey, if it's adding to the hype, so whatever, and everything has the same thing, rated pending. Okay, so there's really nothing else for this. I kind of went over it, and we saw the video kind of twice. I have the numbers down. I think the 48, the second 48 I saw, that was just because of the second video, so we're gonna get rid of that. So what we have so far is W2-H6-496285-163. Dash 163, I'm sorry. So that's the number that was playing. Wait, what am I doing? Why did I lock that? Okay, maybe it's a secure browser. I'm tripping. That was the number that was playing at the bottom here every so often. And then the 3 numbers that were playing on the screen itself is 48, 37, 25. So tomorrow, I'm assuming we're going to get more numbers. I'll write those down. We're probably going to get another one of those little code things at the bottom, unless we don't and it's the same code. I wonder what that code might be for. It could be for some like maybe unlockable type shit in the game. Whenever the game does come out, you might have some unlockable shit. So if I were you, I'd write down that code, because it might be something cool. You might fucking put that code inside the game and get, like, I don't know, a cool weapon skin or a new weapon, or I don't know, like a supply drop. Hopefully they don't put supply drops in. Please don't. If they do, put it cosmetics only. Thank you. I don't want no thing fucking like Black Ops 3 and then like fucking Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare type shit. I fucking hate that. I hate that somebody can literally pay $150 buy the fucking best weapons in the game, and I have like normal weapons that they shit on me every single time. That shit's annoying as hell. Don't do that. Keep the game simple. Make it like a Black Ops 1 remake, pretty much. Do what they did for Modern Warfare from the original Modern Warfare series. Make it like a reboot, except make it better. New graphics, new everything. Everything's gonna be fucking cool. Zombies, all that shit. I want everything. I want Alex Mason back. I want everybody to be fucking incohesion. Everything's gonna be cool. I'm gonna give a little bit on what I think they should go and what they should do. Literally, they do the simplest shit in the world. Make it Black Ops 1. That's it. That's literally all they have to do to make that shit super fucking hype. Make it Black Ops 1, reboot the shit, give it a new story, give it some new characters like they did in Modern Warfare. Literally, since Treyarch was in the Modern Warfare like development and they did shit with them, They helped develop Warzone and all that type of shit. They know what Raven and Sledgehammer did. They can literally just mimic that shit and make it a fucking success. There's literally zero effort they have to do to make this game a fucking good ass game. They literally have the puzzle pieces right then and there. MW has opened everyone's eyes to a reboot of a series. They can literally reboot the fucking Black Ops series and not name it Black Ops. Call of Duty Cold War is what the name of this is because of Doritos. Let me pull that up actually. Let's see. Right here. So, Call of Duty Cold War. We see the fucking logo. Doritos literally has leaked the shit for us. Unlock double XP with every bag. There's a chance to win double XP for a year. Promotion ends 1/31/21. So, is this actually the fucking date that they're expecting to release this shit? Or unless that's promotion ending. So that's the end of this promotion. Let me see. Pulling up this. Let me pull that up. Yeah, I mean that's really it. This is literally Call of Duty Cold War. No, this is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Oh, what the shits? Okay, so it's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So literally they're fucking rebooting this shit. Okay, that's crazy. So it's literally a Black Ops game, but it's not a Black Ops game, if that makes sense. It's literally a whole fucking different thing. Black Ops Cold War. Black Ops Cold War. That's crazy. So literally they're doing the same shit Modern Warfare is doing. I think they're rebooting the fucking Black Ops series with Cold War. Next, could they go to Black Ops 2 and reboot that? I mean, I don't know, because they placed that in 2025. We're literally 5 years away from that type of shit. Do you think we'll be that high tech and that advanced in 2025? Probably not. But it's cool to dream, though. So if they literally reboot the Black Ops series, I say what they do is this. They make Black Ops 1 reboot, and then Black Ops 2, and then that's it. I think that's what they should do. Do Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and that's it. Reboot both those series, and leave Black Ops 3 and 4 out that shit. Because Black Ops 3 and 4, get that shit out of here. Ain't nobody want that shit fucking rebooted. Who the fuck wants to have more jetpacks? Not me. Hell fucking no. I'm good with that shit. Boots on the ground, baby. That's what I always wanted. That's how it always should be. MW has revived Call of Duty for me, but it's kind of burnt out now because I don't know. MW is just, they're adding new weapons that are really overpowered, but the way that people are playing is really triggering me. That's why I haven't streamed for my Damascus grind in a little while, because I'm trying to take a break from that, and maybe I'll get back to it. But let me know what you guys think. What's your guys' take on this this whole thing going on now and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Just what my thoughts were watching this video with me to see on how the stuff will unfold, the information that I know and the things that you know. So anybody that knows anything else and anything more will literally have better and more detailed descriptions than I will. So if you guys would go check out any other YouTuber to find more details and more descriptions and stuff like that, come back at me and let me know. I'll be doing my own research, but I like some more information on more sources to rely on. So go ahead and check that out for me. Come back, give me some information, show me some love, hit the like button, subscribe down below. Definitely going to be streaming again tomorrow, the next clip, next tape. So yeah, look forward to that. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Same thing, like, comment, and subscribe. And